New Aphotic Realm announcement. Submission windows for upcoming issues. Issue 10, the theme is Justice. That's hard-boiled fiction with a supernatural twist. The deadline for that will be April 1st, 2020. Issue 11, the theme is Kaiju, giant monsters terrorizing civilization. Deadline will be October 1st, 2020 for those stories. Issue 12, the theme is Lycanthropy, which is, of course, self-explanatory. It can be any type of animorph with a bloody twist. So I guess that's werewolves and giant, I don't know. What do people turn into? Seals? I've just got a little seal on my desk, so I thought of that. I don't know. You'll have to be more imaginative than I just was. But the deadline for Lycanthropy, January 1st, 2021. Good luck to everyone submitting.
This thing, I hope you like it. Let's talk about it, yeah. Let's lose track. Losing the Plot Podcast. Losing the Plot Podcast. Losing the Plot Podcast. Talking to Leo X.
My guest this episode is Chappell. We're talking about his latest book, Our Biggest Fears, which is like a short novel, really sprawling, loads of characters, very personal, but also like a slasher thriller tale. It's very cool. I hope you will check it out, and I hope you enjoy our conversation. If you would like to be on the show yourself, or you want to tell me something about the show, for whatever reason you have for getting in contact with me, you can always do so using losingtheplotpodcast-at-gmail-dot-com, and I look forward to hearing from you. But that's all my intro chat. So here is my conversation with Chappell. And how's it been? It looks like it's getting good reception.
Yeah, the reviews have been really good, so I'm stoked about that because, I was really worried about the book because it was, different than what I usually do.
It is. In what way does it seem the most different to you?
It was probably because I was being very personal about it. I was diving into some, just, family history, personal stuff. And I was kind of being, obviously you up it, for the book, for the drama and stuff. But I was like dealing with like real issues, kind of magnifying them. So I didn't know if that was going to turn people off or. Because I don't think I've done anything more personal.
That's awesome. How did it start? It seems to me like maybe it was a short story that developed.
It was sort of that. It was supposed to be like a shorter concept. And anybody that's read it, that first chapter was me trying to do like almost like a proof of concept type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had, kind of showed that around, and people really liked it, and I was really excited about the whole thing. And then immediately I didn't know what to do with the book. I was like, what happened? I guess I should have thought that part out. So yeah, it was several months of just trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. Kind of, I mean, you know how it is. I don't know if you've ever had like this, that I have this idea and I really want to do something with it, and I don't want to like lose it, like the idea of it, to something else. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do the idea justice, but then like sometimes it feels so big that it's like you're not. For me, like it's maybe I'm not a good enough writer to flesh this out the way I want. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, those projects can take forever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
By the way, I was really wanting to. I know we
I've just
done.
jumped into it, but we can talk about anything. You know that.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that because it's been on my mind. I was laughing because we were doing Madeline's Bizarro discussion board thing.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
last time we talked. Yeah.
Yeah, and we briefly got to talk, and I was sitting there like, man, I kind of just want to like dip out and talk to him for a few minutes while
Totally.
because I had like a ton of questions while you were talking, and I was like, ah, this isn't my panel though.
I felt the same thing. It's like, can I just share this and chat to Bo for a bit? Can you guys all shut up?
Just sitting there laughing about it. So, but yeah, that whole thing was fun. I'm glad Madeline, even though I'm not like the typical bizarre, you know, uh, it's definitely not my genre. Like I haven't like really written into it. But she was like adamant. She was like, "Yeah, come on, I don't care."
Yeah, it's nice. I think she like opened up the net enough because to me as well, she was like, you're a weirdish writer, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll take that. Yeah.
Well, you're
Because
weird enough. I guess you're weird enough.
like
I can get in the club.
are you saying I'm a weird guy who writes? Because I'll definitely like those are both true. I'll say that. I mean, I tried to write Bizarro, but it just felt like it wasn't. My brain didn't work that way. Like a little bit of it resonated with me, but I think you just have to be kind of snapped in the head in a very cool way that I just don't think I am. I don't know.
No, I think you can do it. It's one of those. It's such a weird genre. It's almost like writing sketch comedy,
Yeah,
but
that's yeah.
serious,
Hmm.
or taking it serious enough to where you're actually drawing out a whole story based on an odd concept. So I can imagine it's challenging.
Yeah, have you ever tried to write some?
Oh no! I do. I like the idea of trying to be running some sort of comedic esque horror thing or something.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after reading Madeline's book, that collection of short stories. But it was yeah, I don't know
I have
because
fortune.
it is very British to me. It's
um,
very. I love it. It's so just like doing some like Douglas Adams esque story or something. That would be cool.
that's right. Yeah, that's a good comparison. I think like yeah, for sure. It's like a Monty Python style absurdist
Yes.
thing.
It's like all those movies that Monty Python made are to me are essentially bizarre fiction.
Yes,
So
good point. I mean, like that genre, because it seems so new, seems to be like redefining itself and expanding more than any other genre. So, um,
yeah, and
yeah,
I noticed that all the authors, people like Danger Slater and like they're all funny.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
They're all very funny, genuinely funny people. So uh, just seeing that it would be kind of intimidating to try and do something with it. Yeah, but you never know.
But you yourself are very funny. Like I really enjoyed the banter between your characters in the book in Our Biggest Fears.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah, that was just me trying to be funny, but
Oh,
like realistic because it's kind of the way me and my sister talk when you're
that's
a sister.
sweet.
So I was trying to like pull that kind of stuff in.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that was like your way into the characters. And I recognize some names as well.
Yeah, yeah. There were some people that I know. BP Gregory, who she had won a charity thing.
Hmm.
I uh, she had won like an auction. And it was just going to be like a name and a kill thing. And then I started talking to her, and she gave me like that whole beautiful backstory. Like all of that is, I don't think she'd mind me saying that. Like all of that's true, pretty much. By
Hmm.
her dad giving her this fucking massive knife, uh, to like just to help her with her anxiety and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, can I please use this?"
Mm-hmm.
At first, I talked her out of it. I was trying to talk her out of it. Like, this is too good. You need to do something with it.
Yeah.
But she was like, she's like, "No, you can use it and all this stuff." And then I really wanted to go deep. So a lot of those personal notes about her character, uh, wanted to do that justice. She was very happy with it. So that was a relief. And who else has mentioned my name? Sean from Horror Writers
Mm-hmm.
named a character after him. He was again. That's very. I was digging information at him. I was having to dig some personal, like not personal, but like I didn't know anything about sports,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, given the season, I was like, what time of the year are the Mets losing really bad, and they're almost out and all this stuff, and he was having to kind of school me.
Oh, that's awesome. Sam and Adrian at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, they were like the big thing. Yeah, I've worked with Adrian so much now.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a Phonogram, and I really loved his podcast, the Purple Tongue podcast that he did, which I hope he brings that back one day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I was listening to, because it's just him, his wife, and his friends, and they're just sitting there shooting the shit and drinking wine and stuff, and it's very, it's like being around friends. Like it was so genuine, and that was such a great podcast. So that was a big inspiration, just hearing him and Sam talk. And yeah, I'd kind of sent it. Yeah, I'd sent it to him, and he was one of the first readers, and he really liked it. And apparently, I made Sam cry.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I must have something here.
But it was sorry, go for it.
No, okay, yeah, go ahead.
It was kind of you mentioned it's personal, like it's dedicated to your sister. Do you get to hang out with your sister often?
Today's, not as often, especially she had moved. She had moved away in her due to her previous relationship. I think she's talking about maybe moving back here closer to home, but she was when I do see her, it's like a big event. Like if she's in town, it's like we have to do something. We have to hang out, even if it's just an hour or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. I miss her. I miss seeing her.
Has she read the book yet?
Yeah, she was. I really wanted to make sure that she was okay with the stuff that I did use.
Yeah.
And that she was comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then also for just if she had more personal notes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because, she was dealing with like a bad relationship and everything. And I was using that as a kind of a springboard, obviously exaggerated a bit. But yeah, I was really needed her to be comfortable with everything I was using. Because if she wasn't comfortable, then I couldn't with good conscience put it out.
That's very good. Yeah, it's good to make sure. So I take it she's like super supportive of your writing, though.
Yeah, she is, and I really, she's just supportive in everything, and she's, just having her there, and not only being okay with it, but like, yeah, go for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really do appreciate her. So it was, yeah. I mean, I essentially turned her into a final girl type thing. So,
well, I mean, coming from you and what I know of you, I mean, that's like one of the highest honors.
Yeah, I love horror movies, and I've been wanting to write like a slasher serial killer thing forever. Mm-hmm. And I'd actually had that mask and everything like ready to go. I just didn't know what the dude was.
Was that like is that a real picture on the back?
It's somewhat real. Funny story. I was trying to carve a mask or
Mm-hmm.
not carved, like sculpt a mask, and I had sculpted it, and I had made like a fatal error of not putting any release or putting plastic on the back of it, so I couldn't get it off the thing I was sculpting on, and I was like, I'm going to lose this. There's no way around it. I can't bake it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just took a picture of it, took a couple really good pictures of it, and then I just finished it digitally. And I was like, I'll go back and make one later. I never did. So I was happy with the picture. It looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
So like the bandages are like good, but like the rest of the mask that was actually
That's really
sculpted.
cool.
I did end up going back and making like miniature ones for uh, the book kits that I sent out to reviewers and stuff. And BP got one because of the contest. She got like a personal one. Um,
That's
the one I
awesome.
dubbed the spoiler mask, but I was like, just don't put pictures of it out yet because
Ah.
But she got one, and then my she's getting a book kit when she comes to visit. So.
Is this like a new thing for you, or have you been, I don't know, baking stuff before?
Oh yeah, I love ever since I was one of those kids like I loved playing with like Play-Doh and Silly Putty. And with Silly Putty I'd always do like I'd make like custom heads and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
mask like very Mission Impossible type stuff and because I was one of those like, oh, I want an action figure of this, but they don't make it. So that was my way of doing it. So yeah, I've always been like filling around and sculpting and stuff, and I just kind of kept growing. And then I was introduced to the glory of polymer clay, and like, oh, you can keep this,
Mm-hmm.
you can paint it, and do all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, I was doing that. So and naturally, it just kind of came back, and I did that whole book kit. Every reviewer, I sent it out like it as if it was from the killer.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, I
they got
saw that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was like I found these like little tiny house boxes
Mm-hmm.
and send them like an interactive puzzle they had to figure out, which they eventually did. They figured out that the quote unquote killer for the book is on Twitter, and it kind of houses all the special features and stuff.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. Because you're a guy who's always been a fan of like collector's edition kits and stuff. So you like have enjoyed the care that goes into stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it was really fun just doing those. Yeah, because I'd done similar stuff for like Year 47, and so yeah, it's fun making little physical things. That way, if people do, it kind of pulls them in.
Yeah, definitely.
So I really did have fun making those.
It's super unique. I mean, it's something you can only really get in indie publishing, I think, is that like those personal touches.
Yeah, you had to have a little fun with it because I know like a lot of people like to give out bookmarks and stuff, which I've done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if there's something I could do to kind of get people's attention and just have a little more fun, and then that way they're kind of easily relaxed
Mm-hmm.
into the when the book actually starts being read. It's
Mm.
it's kind of more fun to mentally put them there before they've even opened the book.
And it seems like it seems like it is resonating personally with people. Like, is that something that you expected, or does it surprise you?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's total surprise because be you know, I think we've all done stuff as artists where it kind of just goes into the ether, and then you're like, oh well, oh well.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, whenever people like the first one I'd sent out, it went to Will Red Beard, who's a YouTube
Oh yeah,
book
yeah. I think I've seen
reviewer.
him on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin, he's starting to really he kind of grew fast out of that. But I had sent one to him, and I immediately got the reaction that I wanted because he got it and he's like, "What the fuck is this?" Like it creeped him out. And I was like, "Yes, this is what I wanted." So yeah, when it works, it's always great. You always plan for it to work, but you can't expect it to work because it's kind of weird. You never know if people are going to react the way you want them to react, or
Yeah,
take away what.
well, like when I was younger, I always assumed that writers had some sort of extra insight into people or knew more about what they were doing than they must do, because as an adult now and having written for so long, like I don't understand people very well. I've got no idea whether they're going to respond to what I put out in the world or not. um
Yeah, it's so funny. Like you're writing for the audience, but at the same time, you really have to. It's really true. You really have to write for yourself, and then hope that the audience finds you.
yeah, pretty much.
And
You
if
can't.
that audience does find you, and they, if you're able to make that easier and draw them in and do all this fun stuff, then why not do it?
Mhm. And there's so many different writing styles in a book that's like so short. Like there's lots of different chapters, and there's like diary entries and news articles, text exchanges. Um, were these like new styles that you tried? Was it deliberate that this was all going in, or did it just arise out of the writing process?
Uh, a little bit of both. There were some things that did kind of come out of like the text exchange. I figured that would be more personal instead of just writing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the newspaper thing it was a definite definite thing I wanted to use. The journal thing I've used before, so I was comfortable with it. It's kind of like my way of doing first person and third person.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoy it because once you switch, people are used to third person. When you switch to the first person, it immediately becomes way more personal and engaging,
Mm-hmm.
and you can use that as a, you know, kind of an impactful weapon if you use it right. So I used it before in a earlier book, and it turned out to be a lot of people's like favorite chapter
Mm-hmm.
because it came out of nowhere. So I kind of wanted to do something like that again, where you can just really get emotional and stuff. You
So
can't, being emotional. I mean, like you got to go first person. I feel like I feel like that's the thing that like you really get inside a character's head.
hmm. I don't know, like personally, I spend so much time on everything I write now that by the time it's finished, like it's not doing anything for me anymore. So when people like have reactions to it, because like I can work on stories for months or much longer, and then um I don't know if anyone has any kind of personal reaction to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it was supposed to do. I forgot. Like it kind of did when I first had the idea earlier. Um,
No, no, I know I'm with you, but by the
yeah,
end of this book, I was fucking sick of it. I was like,
yeah, totally. It's exactly like I told Madeline. Like the last film I want to see is the one I made. Like I'd rather see anything else.
by the way, I really did. Thank you for letting me watch that film.
Oh,
Really
I'm
cool.
I'm so glad I'm so glad you know were interested in it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was really good. Like I love dialogue, character driven movie.
Mm,
There's such like sometimes you just want to see people act
yeah,
and talk. You get a hankering for this type of movies, 12 Angry Men, or
yeah, yeah,
where you,
yeah,
you just
definitely.
want to see people do things. You don't necessarily want the action.
Mm,
So that movie, I really liked it, and I know you were. That's the one of those things I wasn't talk to you about
mm,
because there's kind of been a lot of similar movies that are using the whole conference call thing right now
yeah.
for obvious reasons. And
Mm.
I didn't. I was telling you, I was wanting to tell you during the thing. I was like, "Don't worry, dude. You should really, really be proud of that. Don't even worry about the other stuff." Because I
Oh,
know Host is very popular right now, but
yeah.
I was sitting there. I was like, "Yeah, I actually like Leo's better."
Awesome. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate it. No, I knew that you would be good about it. It's funny because like I know like for you, for both of us, I know that like the writing community is so important to us. Like we love having other writer friends because they're like-minded, cool people.
Yeah.
But often when you send stuff out like a film, this hasn't happened yet because I haven't even sent it to that many people. But I'm all scared that they're going to be like, oh, like congratulations, but like I've already agreed to review so much stuff, and they feel like you're sending it to them because you want their stamp of approval for promotion purposes or something.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I got you.
and that's like
I
the
get
last
you.
thing I care about. I just thought, hey, I know Bo will be cool about this, like, because he's always been so supportive of the films. Um, so yeah, you're like one of the few people I sent it to because I just wanted people to enjoy it. And
Well, thank you for that. Yeah,
yeah,
it really, I really did enjoy it. It was one of those things where I mellowed out and threw it on the laptop, and I was like, this is just the dialogue. It's very snappy and witty, and it just kept you engaged.
oh, cheers. I mean, I had so much fun, like, cause it's totally free. Like, it's so much fun just being like, right, well, I'm gonna make the story exactly what I want it to be. I'm gonna have all the characters say like whatever the hell I would just have characters in one of my stories saying, because like
Yeah,
everyone here is up for doing this. Um, Nobody like is making money out of it or expecting to do so. So let's just do whatever the hell we want. Um,
they're the best movies.
yeah, yeah. But I just had like
Like it's clearly not manufactured. Like you could tell. Like you guys were just you were doing what you wanted to be doing because
having a good time.
man that thing spirals pretty quickly. And it gets like pretty trippy. But I love it. Uh, I love when people like just take that risk. Like I'm just gonna make whatever I want. If people want to watch it, that's cool.
That's like that's all I want to do anymore. It's the only thing I want to spend my time on. And same goes with like the podcast. Like you, obviously, huge fan of you, like as a person and a writer. Only want to talk to um people like that. I've completely forgotten that the promotional aspect of it. So I'm always taken aback when people assume that's my motivation because I would spend zero time on that. I don't have time for that. Like I don't understand how anyone does. Um it's like
Yeah,
no one's
just
asking us to do this.
just watch it. Plus, I mean, like it was only been like a year since you started making films, and then you made a feature film, and I found that jump to be like super impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. We sent it off to Sundance. biggest festival there is. We hear back in December, and then after that, probably just shotgun it everywhere. See if
Yeah,
anyone,
I can't
yeah, and if it ends up
definitely
somewhere
can't
cool,
wait.
then we'll go watch it in Spain or something. If it shows up there, then why not? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And in the meantime, I wrote another script for Sam. Sam is the guy with the glasses, Bob one. Um, he and I are going to make another film this Christmas where I've like kidnapped him in his mum's art studio. Um, so like
Yes.
his mum's like kind enough to let us use that, and that'll be awesome. And it's just like
Oh,
another
this is
dialogue thing.
the one set dealy, right? That we were. I think you were talking about like
Yeah, like
if you
single
was
room
like
dramas. Love the single room
yes,
dramas because if you if
those
you
are
if you own the room, then the budget is zero. But also, like,
yeah.
as people who've been writing for so long, like, I love the challenge of the writing because, like you say, like that's exactly where the focus is. That's where it always is, but never more so apparent in films where there really is nothing else going on. Um, and so it's actually like a comfier domain to start with as somebody who's been writing longer than making films to make a film that's where the focus is. Um, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
you're welcome to write stuff for us if you want, and we can make it.
Don't open that door.
Do serial killers in Stavanger or something? Why not? Um,
And see if you've done something. It's a
yeah,
great idea.
we can build up your IMDb page.
I should almost have a credit because of no sleep, but I don't think I technically made it in.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. Do you have like do you have some stories on their podcast?
I had the Christmas special from last year.
Nice.
Yeah, that Graham Road produced. He was he kind of he snatched that story up. He's like, I really want to do something with this, and then he's like, would you mind if I tried? I was like, yeah, sure, obviously. If you're performing it, you want to do something with it. And then he came back a couple weeks later, he's like, okay, no sleep wants it. I'm like, what? How did you do that?
That's awesome. You need to send me the link or something so that we can get it, people on the podcast to look at it. But that's great. That's like a huge podcast.
Yeah, I was ecstatic. I got some other stuff submitted, or like officially submitted through the
Mm-hmm.
things. But yeah, hoping that'll turn up.
Cool.
So many people submit the no sleep. You gotta wait a while.
Yeah. I've submitted myself in the past, I think, but yeah, and I listened to it as well. But yeah, so like, are you working on other stories at the moment, or what are you up to?
Me and yeah, me and Medina are we're working on something now. We might put out later.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
cool.
very much blueprints right now, but we're talking out and gonna try and co-author a book. And, yeah, we were. That was a lot of fun because we met up, did a video. We did a phone chat, and
Mm-hmm.
that lasted a really long time, longer than I thought it would.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
We were just excited. We just kept going with stuff and shooting it back and forth. Like what we'd both started out with is not what we ended up with, and that's always so exciting.
So like, you developed the idea together first, and then you're working on a script like on and off, or
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because we definitely wanted the book to feel natural, with two authors,
Mm-hmm.
and have a. So we just kind of setting down some ground rules, doing some research, and yeah, and I've worked with Medina, a few times already,
Mm-hmm.
so it's very natural. Just going back into it, I don't feel like there's any butting heads when there's disagreements about like what should be what.
Yeah.
We always end up with something better than we both wanted. So.
Nice. That's awesome. And can you talk about this editing project as well?
Yeah, which one? I'm
The
kind
one
of the.
you sent me, the 100 words.
Oh, that's we had to put a delay on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had originally planned it to be with um the whole COVID thing
Mm-hmm.
when it first started out. That this should date it like at the beginning of the year, and we were going to do like a charity event, but the whole political atmosphere changed and everything with the Black Lives Matter movement, and
Mm-hmm.
so we kind of went back and rethought what we were going to do with it.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird to do like a Lovecraft type thing in that atmosphere. It doesn't feel right.
Ah, okay. I see your point. Yeah, I
Yeah,
see your point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. So we were doing that, and just personal breaks and stuff happened, and then other projects opened up. So we were on a bit of delay.
Mm-hmm.
We still don't know what we're going to do with it. I've had to contact a few people, but yeah, we still want to do the limited limited word story. Because I'm sure, I just from what the submissions I've read, they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was still it's still on the table. I have no idea when it's gonna happen.
Well, like almost all creative people I know, like myself included, have about 5 or 6 things going on at least, and then they come out when they're ready.
Yeah,
Typically,
because
like yeah.
me and it was Bailey Hart, who, man, read the Log House. That's someone you should have on. I think she's on like a social media break right now.
Okay, I'll write it down.
But when she comes back, she'd be really good to have on because I worked with her on By Year's End
Mm-hmm.
after reading her novel The Loghouse, and I fucking love the book. Uh, so that too, that kind of hindered things. Her wanting to be because I think me and her both, we both just had like enough social media right now, man,
Yeah.
and that didn't help the project. That's on us, obviously, because we were, mental break, man.
Yeah, everything's time is going very strangely. No. Um best to leave projects until you have the energy for them. I always think that. Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes you finish a draft of something and then I always go, God, I can't even look at this thing again. And then I think, yeah, but there will come a day when you're not tired of looking at it, and then you should look at it on that day.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a good tip for
yeah,
anybody, man. Once you finish something, before you even go back and put eyes back on it, just leave it because it's just going to be a collection of words that you just don't understand.
yeah.
You're just going to get frustrated.
Like, whenever I tell myself that, a part of me always goes, "Well, I find that very hard to believe. There will ever be a day I want to read this again." And then, like, a month later, I'll be like, "Yeah, all right, I'll take a look at it."
Yeah, and then sometimes you're surprised. You're, oh, that's pretty good.
Totally, not bad. Like, cool sentence. I would read
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
don't remember running it. That's pretty good.
Mhm.
But
Although,
yeah, I always worry about those people. Like you see it on social media, like people's like, just finished it. Now it's time for the editing, and I'm like, you did not give it enough time.
totally.
You were gonna hate it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm never motivated by that style as well. Like, you gotta get up and do it every day, whether or not you like it or not. And you're like, no, no, I don't. When? Who said I have to do that? Um.
Yeah, and thank God, man. I managed to get Anya Stanley, big in the horror community for her articles and stuff on horror movies.
Mhm.
I I'd worked with her on By Years End, and I was like, "Can you please help me edit? Would you be willing to let me hire you as an editor?" And she was totally game.
Mhm.
And that helped tremendously to have her working as an editor because man, she really sharpened that story with her horror movie knowledge and calling me out on my bullshit when it needed to, but in the polite way. But I was like, "Yes, thank you. Challenge me.
Nice.
Like, hey, if this is stupid, tell me, please."
Yeah. Finding a good editor is important for sure. But like
I mean, I'd
I've
be oh, sorry.
no, go for it. Go for it. Tell me.
I was just gonna say, just follow her on was it Bookish Plinko?
Okay.
I think if people aren't following her on Twitter, like she just amazing articles that she keeps contributing. I mean, she was writing for Fangora and things, and I mean,
Cool.
yeah, definitely read her stuff, especially if you're a horror movie junkie. She'll change your perspective on things.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. I'm writing it down. I always get good, so supportive of other people. I always get good tips of like, I always leave with like more tips of other people's work to read. Than like,
Yeah, but like, yeah, you want these people. It's like you meet these people. Like, why not? I mean, that's the whole point.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
you want to push your friends.
yeah, for
Rising
sure.
tide lifts all boats situation.
Rising tide lifts all boats. No, I heard that one before. It's nice.
Why not? Yeah, support your friends, man.
I'm like,
I'm not going for that whole competition thing. Being all jealous when somebody's got a hit book and all that stuff. That's just wasted energy.
yeah, yeah,
Be happy
I
for
don't
that
care.
person.
For sure, like, see in the filmmaking club, I think people, if especially if they've never made films before or like done anything creative, they come in with this attitude that like everyone else is their enemy, or like that they have to be really hostile to me in particular. Of course, I never call anyone on it because I collaborate with them in future, and like typically after one or two sessions then they start to calm down, but at first they're just like, so you think you can make films? Like, yeah, I think you can come and do it with me and we'll have a good time. Is that okay? Like,
That's why we're all here.
yeah. And like, it freaks
Yeah.
people
When you
out.
put people in a group, there's this weird inkling to be competitive and oh, look what I can do, what I can do, but like,
Mm,
which is it's okay at first, but like really should it's just like in life, like you be with these people who will kind of learn off of them and engage with them, and share the experience with them. That's why we're all here.
Yeah, for sure. I think that like being, well, as you know, like being creative and sending creative work out into the world is an incredibly vulnerable thing to do for like anyone. I think like you know, people who've done, I don't know, even tough things in life would be surprised at how, you know, how they react. I think people go back to learned processes of, um, I don't know, difficult school experiences and stuff, and that's why they start acting out because it's a totally new skill. And when you do something that's totally new, you revert back to like an earlier version of yourself or something.
Yeah, that's a good observation.
Well, because I've done it, I
Well,
do it
I think,
myself. Yeah.
yeah, I think people are just kind of when they have something, they're kind of they're scared that they're going to lose it because somebody else can do it.
Hmm.
Like all of a sudden that negates, like, he's creative too. He writes, but like, there's no point in me doing this.
Hmm.
Or the opposite effect is, well, I'm going to do it better than him. And I'll show him.
Yeah.
But like both those are just those are, you gotta be in the middle, man.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, I've never understood why if you're going to take on competition, you're not then like in competition with every book that's ever been made.
Oh yeah,
In which case, like,
then we all
you
should
know,
stop.
yeah, 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 exactly. Then you're done automatically. It can't be about that. Um,
Well, it's about bringing your own voice to it. I mean, Rembrandt has just as much say in the artist community as Jack Kirby to me. Like they both work at different. Yeah,
yeah, it
one
just
is
depends who you
better than
are.
the other.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Oh, speaking of which, like we've got your lovely art by the door. It's beautiful piece that you sent. That's a really cool competition.
The yeah. Oh, forgot about that. The Geek Man.
Shredder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Freddie Williams II, also follow him. He's a man. He was super cool about that because you never know when you're talking to somebody that like works in the field,
Hmm.
and he's still doing those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman comics and stuff, and he's like the king of the crossover. He gets to do all the fun stuff. So talking to him, it's always like, oh, he was kind of wanting to do this contest, and uh, you think if I buy a couple pieces off of you, like, yeah, you'd be willing to sign them and all this stuff, and he just threw all this stuff at us. And he's like, just raise as much money, just give it out, just do whatever you can with it. And I was like, holy shit.
Hmm.
So we were able to, we were only going to give out a couple. And then we ended up being able to give out so many and then sold off some for charity and stuff. It was great. Uh, yeah. So I'm really glad that, you guys, because it made us happy because everything that, like, your response, I hope you're not mad, but
Hmm.
your response, like, I kind of like fielded it back to him with like all the people who had responded, and just to show him, I was like, look at what you're doing, dude.
No, that's lovely. That's lovely. That's
You're
what it's
making
all
all these
about.
people happy.
Hmm. I mean, like those kind of stories. Like I've only a handful of times have I ever reached out to a creative, and I don't know, they've not been so happy that you've chosen them personally and want to get involved with them. Like no matter who they are. Um, and also like I think about like in my club we had we've got a new film that's going to go out tomorrow on YouTube, and it has like 16 people in it or something, um, but we're there for like an hour and a half every evening, and they're all really keen to like get in their ideas and stuff, but you can't over an hour and a half you can't personally connect to 16 different people, right? So when you
Yes.
when you convey these personal stories to this artist guy, like that might be the most recent time that he's seen those kind of stories, even if like hundreds upon thousands of people are looking at his work. It's just not the same. Those personal connections are so important. That's how we work, right?
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I know. Yeah, because every artist wants to connect with the people that they're trying to communicate with,
Mm-hmm.
reach them on whatever level. I mean, and it's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Hmm. I
So you
feel
got a new film tomorrow?
it's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, we made it last Wednesday. It's the sequel to Vampires Anonymous. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh, so I get this will be out by the time that's out. So
yeah, definitely. So you can
super
check
super
that
looking
out.
forward to it.
And then I thought, like, because we've got that room and we've made these two anonymous films that are like 5 minutes long, I said, like, let's make. And I had this idea that we were going to do like a social media comedy thing where we all get really mad at one another, but um, it's going to get so dark here for the next number of months that there's not much point in doing an outdoors thing. So I think we'll make Anonymous the movie. Um, and I've got a woman who knows choreographers. I'm going to get her to do a dance for it. I'll try and do some like songs in the film, just like a bunch of random nonsense. Like whoever can do anything, we'll just put it in, and it'll be the biggest pile of
Absolutely right.
nonsense. Because I should the early viewers of this latest film were just like, what the hell did I just watch? I was like, that's exactly the effect I wanted. Because as you know, I think it takes a long time to. I wish this process took zero time. Like assuming the identity of whatever um creative outlet you've chosen. Like it took me a long time to say I was a writer. Like why? Just put a sentence down. Now you're one. Now just get on with it. That's silly. Like
Yeah,
so
we
yeah.
we talked to Graham Rowan about that when he did the show. He was and then he had expanded on it. I think during like a no sleep thing. He was like he loves the idea of doing podcasts and stuff because it's such an immediate no, what's the word I'm looking for? He loves the fact that it's finished, so immediately they have a project there that you can see and it's done and you react with and you can engage and you can feel that success of like, oh, okay, I did this.
Hmm.
Because he talks about like doing movies and stuff and TV shows, and he could forget that he even did it by the time it comes out, and you don't get that reaction.
Cool.
You don't get that reaction right away.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, I mean, for all we talk about problems with the internet and so on, there's so many new things it's given us. Like, I love it. I was just listening to some podcast with like celebrity interviews, but the kind of chat that they have, the one-on-one personal chat when they're not like playing to an audience or something, is seems totally new to me. It seems like we're learning more about one another and feeling more connected to one another. Um, I mean, like that's not going to replace like having a family or whatever, but it's better than nothing. It's something that didn't exist before. Um,
Yeah.
I also find like I meet a lot of introverts in person and I receive lovelier like online messages from them than the chats we have in real life. Because I think in both of our heads it's probably just like, God, I wish I was home. I really just want to be home right now. Like that. That's that's my thought
Yeah.
like 90%
No, I'm
of the
willing to
time.
bet there's a ton of like people you've had on, and I know me and Dustin, like we're the same way. We're all just introverts. We're extroverted introverts, especially when we can just be in our own element, but engage with people.
Yeah. Yeah, and
We
that's
say,
that's that's great. Um yeah, it's really nice. So what are you like what are you doing at the moment? What's your projects? How's your weekend been? What's going on with you?
oh,
Generally.
just playing it easy. I've been, just doodling and stuff for notes because I'm a visual note.
Mm-hmm.
If I come up with ideas for things, it's usually drawn first.
Mm-hmm.
So just doing that thing with Medina and just drawing for myself, really, and then watching a bunch of old '80s movies. I don't know why I'm on a bender.
Nice. Anything good?
I gotta finish it today. I'm in the middle of the Dirt Bike Kid.
The Dirt Bike Kids.
It was it's so '80s. It's not even funny. It has like all the tropes. It's like there's just a random food fight in this movie for no reason. But yeah, I think it's the kid from Christmas Story. Can't
Okay.
remember his name because he's not a kid anymore and he still acts and produces. I can't remember his name, so it's nothing personal. That guy, but Yeah, it's about him getting a magical dirt bike that's like a living sentient thing,
Hmm.
and he has to like raise money to save a restaurant. It's God saying it out loud is stupid, but yeah, it's goofy fun.
I take it there's some sort of like evil chef who's like, you'll never raise enough money to save this
Uh,
or something.
oh, it's even better. It's an evil bank manager.
Evil bank manager, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I want to foreclose on this place.
Ah, right. Yeah, that
It's
makes
like,
sense.
yeah, it's so no, you got it. That's it's all the things you can think of is in that movie so far. But I remember like watching it until when I was a kid. So yeah, get that. And I think I'm just going to finish Flash Gordon too because I've never seen Flash Gordon. I'm ashamed to admit that.
The first one.
Yeah
Oh, there. Okay, yeah.
the one with the Queen sound. Like all that stuff is in my head. All the imagery, the
Hmm.
Queen music, all of it's there. But I've never seen that movie.
Hmm.
I'm kind of like on a pulp Euro bender thing too. So I was giving it a go, and I watched like some of it. I'm gonna finish it, and I was like, this movie's fucking rad. Love it. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner.
Do you think you'll ever do like a cartoon or like a graphic novel?
Oh, I would love to.
Hmm.
Absolutely love to. I just don't know. It's kind of hard to say when I would do it or if or because you just never know. Like like I don't have any like hardcore plans.
Hmm.
I know there's stuff I would love to do as a like I tried to pitch Celestial Pictures. I'd written to them. I was like, "Is there any way I can get the rights to Inframan?
Hmm.
Like, can I have like a license to do a sequel comic to the movie
Ah,
Inframan?"
okay, okay. Because you're in for
And
fan.
of course, yeah, that's where I'm a fan of
Ah, okay.
Inframan.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I love that. It's my favorite childhood movie. I love that movie to death, and I'd really have like a killer sequel idea.
Hmm.
And I would like to do it in like a comic book form or something. But of course, I never heard back.
Oh.
It's, as a shot in the dark.
Worth asking.
Yeah, definitely. Because it's my thought was like, oh, what if they act? It's one of those things like if they said they had to keep all of the money,
Yeah.
I would still probably do it.
So,
Something about it, just something about it.
do you have like other goals as a writer, or just in general?
Uh, oh, that's a man. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into writing movies and stuff. That's a hard field
Hmm.
to get into. Like that's why I'm like so flabbergasted by the how quickly you guys are moving and the success of it. Uh, yeah, I wouldn't mind like kind of transitioning into movies, comics because those are. I mean, that's what made me want to be a writer to begin with, really.
Hmm.
Because I just grew up reading, just being obsessed with movies and graphic novels and stuff growing up.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if you take a look at the stuff that we do, and if you think of anything appropriate, like if it requires access to like basic stuff, like I don't know, an office or a restaurant or something, or a bedroom serial killer speech or something, you can send it to us and we'll make it. And then you can.
That's
I don't know if
incredible.
those
Yeah.
credits. I don't know if those credits translate into anything, but I do know that we're having fun.
No. No joke. When you asked that, there is like a bunch of things. It would be fun just to do it, just to write something for you guys. That would be fun.
Yeah, go for it. Please do. We
Some sort of character piece or something.
Yeah. What I'm going to do is like so we did Vampires Anonymous, and then tomorrow Umbrellas Anonymous is coming out. Um, and it's about like an umbrella that thinks it's arrived at Umbrellas Anonymous. And
Oh
then
God.
somebody suggested Aubergines Anonymous next because apparently there's like nicotine in the skin of them that you can smoke. So we were like, maybe that's a film.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go for it, man. Like, see, you're more bizarre than you think you are.
Yeah, it's true.
I love it.
But if you wanted to write one of those, you totally could. They just
Yeah.
they can't be too silly, and they're all just for practice. Like the real goals of this one was like use my green screen for the first time, and like I don't know.
I'm so glad you reminded me of that, kid. Your video introduction to your channel
Oh yeah, yeah.
when you started using grease, that shit was hilarious.
I'm so glad. It took me.
Okay, I never mentioned it to you. I'm glad you brought that up. 'Cause just if anybody watches anything, at least go watch that. It's so funny.
Cheers, cheers. I was just like,
Look at me, I'm gonna tell you.
it felt so silly. I like it took me so long to make it as well, and I'm just saying a bunch of stuff that I'd already scripted, and I was still just like, oh, what did I say? So, and then I just felt like it was, I think, the biggest revelation for me last year. It's like when you start saying, I don't know, or like showing stuff that you're, I don't know, having a laugh at yourself, like being vulnerable, that builds trust. So then I realized, like, if I can show those things, it's only an asset and a strength to what I do. Like being honest about the level of skill that I have, or just, I don't know, not taking things too seriously, are really attractive to people rather than being like, dress for the job you want and look very competent all the time. It's actually off-putting to me. I'm looking for people like what would attract me, and it's somebody who's like, I don't know, not taking things too seriously, having a laugh, failing a little bit openly. I mean, that takes courage. Yeah.
It totally works too. Like I'm with you. The more genuine person is, or at least seems. Sometimes you get burned, but like I just love genuine people. I rather that's what'll turn me off from the writing community is people that just constantly, oh, what's your favorite Stephen King book? And it's like, hey, just talk to me like a normal person, please.
Yeah, but it's
I'm
like
not gonna like you because you like this. I'm gonna like you because I mean I'll figure that stuff out about you.
yeah.
And meanwhile, Danger Slater's tweeting about like his dick or something.
Farts and stuff all the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
it's like okay, I can tell this guy this is who he is. This guy,
Yeah,
it's more fun.
and he is.
Battling with her just quirkiness and just love people like that.
That's true, yeah, and they are both great examples of like lovely, supportive people. I've always said that, and like if anyone asks me for Bizarro, like, recommendations, it's always both of them because I think of them first because they're like cool people,
Yeah.
I do happen to think their writing is awesome, but I think of them first because I'm like, yeah, they're like I love chatting to them. They're nice people.
I think it's a good indicator too of just like what you're going to get when you're writing. I know people could be like it can be completely different when they're writing, but most people are writing from their internal well. And you're always getting bits and pieces in the writing. So if you like the person, you're probably gonna like the writing anyway.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. Which is like it's a tough thing to say because like you always feel like if that's true, then knowing the person will like enhance your enjoyment of their writing. Of course, as a writer, you always hope that you put everything that the person needs between the pages, but it's just not. It just doesn't work that way. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, because everybody's gonna pull whatever. So yeah, you're right. Like knowing the person, at the very least, the personality, I think it really does enhance the experience. Plus, you just can't get a sense of people that do the daily writing community hashtag thing.
Yeah.
The majority of them, they're just asking the same questions over and over, and then you can tell it's just like engage with me because I have a book that's similar. It's like I don't really know you that. At least tell me what the book's about. At least there's just something, and they just don't do that. That's so weird to me.
Yeah. So you're watching more films this afternoon?
Yeah. I'm just trying to enjoy more personal time, like that, especially having the downtime, and I'm not freaking out about a book and panicking that I have to get it out and I have to do this. Trying to make the best of the situation. So yeah, just watching movies and doing art for myself, and then all the other projects kind of fall in between fall in the gaps, and it makes it more fun.
Awesome. Sounds like a great plan. But I hope you're super proud of this one. I really enjoyed it, and I hope people will pick it up.
Thank you, I really, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thank you again for the invite. I saw that, I was like, absolutely.
Oh, it's always a pleasure talking to you. So just you don't need a book to come back on. Just give me a call if you see Discord on. I'll say hi. Don't mind.
Next week.
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
We went to that Chappell. People are like, what the hell's happening to the show?
Totally. My guest this week is Chappell again for the 5th time in a row. It's just like, and then like the film recommendations keep getting worse.
Yeah, I saw. I don't know what this is. It's just basically like, how did this get made selections.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Joe, Juan and I just watched Tarantula from the 1950s. Do you know it?
I've heard of it, and I've never. Yeah, it's like one of those like B movies around.
Yeah, like a massive tarantula terrorizing the city. It's so cool. But like Juan predicted it because like at the end, like, well, no spoilers, but like there's a big finale at the end, and then it just goes the end. Like you don't get to talk to any of the characters or something.
They were all of those movies back then were like that. They just it's just like, well, the threat's over. You did a good job.
Yeah, I love that. All right, go home. All right, fuck off.
Yeah,
the film's over.
What about like the infrastructure and like your government's reaction to this, or where the character's going to be?
Totally. Like, did they get together in the end, or is everyone okay?
It's fine. You're good. You got the gist of it. The end.
Totally.
Question mark.
I love it though. I wish there were more films like that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that like what was it? Death Proof.
Yeah. That's true.
That movie just ended.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is like one of the best endings ever. It was hilarious.
You're right. Yeah, it's totally an homage to all of those endings. Like most of Hitchcock films as well. They're just like, yep, he's dead. Yep, go on then. See you later.
Yeah. They just, I guess they didn't feel the need for epilogues and wrap ups and stuff. It's like we took care of the threat. Threat is over. Everybody can relax. Get a good time.
Everyone goes home. Yeah, it's nice.
Everybody exits. It's like, I wonder what happened to that character. Nope.
Who cares? Yeah, we're done. We want to go home. It's been like a long shoot.
In the end, we did it. We killed the giant spider.
It's so funny. I just read this memoir of this filmmaker that I respect, and he was just like, he said, like, I don't know anything about lenses, and I mostly don't stay to do the long takes because at the end of the day, I just want to get home to my wife. And he's like a well-respected filmmaker who's like, genius, and you have to go see his films and everything. And I was like, great, because I feel exactly the same, and I thought that made me like not a real filmmaker. But I had like even like last week, people were going, "Oh, what if we do this extra scene?" And I was like, "It's already 8. I want to go get a snack. I want to go." Like it is what it is, guys.
Yeah, I think what was it? Roger Deakins, the cinematographer. I think he has a podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
and Bill Pope was on there. He's like possibly my favorite cinematographer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling that story about how shooting those Matrix sequels was a nightmare because the Wachowskis had read about Kubrick doing his infamous we do 1,000 takes until the character breaks down and everything's natural.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just sitting there like, we got it on the first take. Let's go.
Yeah.
So he said like filming those things was very stressful, but he's come back around on it. Obviously, he's like, yeah, I look at those things as like a miracle. They exist now, and they're really good, and I enjoy them.
Is that what you think of them?
Oh, I fucking love the Matrix movies. I will defend those because I know a lot of people don't like the sequels.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a pretty slim majority on that one, and I'm okay with it because I love them so much. And like everything, the Matrix is kind of one thing to me, like the Animatrix, and then the trilogy and everything, the games. All that's just one story in my head, and I just kind of count it as one thing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, the games were good as well on like the PlayStation.
Yeah, because they'd actually filmed they had filmed like an additional movie to go in that game, and you only get to see it if you play that game.
Oh, I didn't know it was
Like I
like that
was,
much content.
yeah, I think it's like what is it, like 50 minutes or something like that.
Wow, awesome.
Come on, man. Yeah. But yeah, like all that footage with Nairobi and Ghost and like that's all original content and backstory for the. It's kind of like the another subplot that you didn't get to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people probably don't know that Ghost was had like a crush on Trinity unless you play that game. And he's in the movie. He's a character has like maybe one line, maybe two lines.
Mm-hmm.
So that type of stuff is it's fascinating to me the way they decided the world to build in all the other different medias as much like the comics and the games and the animes and stuff. I was like, this is a brilliant idea to get to tell all these things that you're not going to get a chance to tell.
Mm. What did you think of Sense 8? Did you see it?
Yes, I really I enjoyed that show. And my only it's heartbroken because that you can tell they had to rush that ending.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that they gave them a fucking ending
Mm.
because they canceled that show and then they weren't going to wrap it up. And I was very proud of this. It's like all these people around the world are like, give us a fucking ending. It's not fair, man. And they gave him that movie. I can tell it was rushed, but I'm so glad that they gave him that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. Like fans have so much more power now. Can you explain this like Zack Snyder Justice League thing?
Do you want me to explain?
How long is it going to take?
It's me, and also I'm not like on the side. I'm not like too excited about it. But
Yeah.
okay, so he did Justice League, but he had to dip out because I think his daughter committed suicide.
Oh.
Yeah, and he decided to just take that time off, and they to keep moving the project ahead at Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
and he wasn't able to come back at the time. So they ended up getting Josh Whedon to finish it
Mm-hmm.
because big choice. He did the Avengers. He's successful with these things,
Yeah.
and they did reshoots and edits. People weren't happy with the finished product, and they just kept saying, "Release the Snyder cut. Release the Snyder cut."
Mm-hmm.
Let him like. There's footage. There's probably enough to finish it because that was always the rumor that there's enough already finished that they don't need that much money to finish it out.
Yeah.
Uh, so eventually that was enough, and HBO Max is going to do like a 4-part like mini series. So the movie will be like 4 hours long.
Oh wow.
When you put it together, they're going to do it like in episodes, and it's going to be like his version of it, like what he would have done if he had finished it. And they give him like another 70 million to go do reshoots with the people and everything.
That's
I was
wild.
just like, fans won on that one.
Hmm.
But that was like brutal. It wasn't like polite. Please let us have it. It was fucking do it. I'm never buying anything ever again type thing.
Wow, that's wild. Oh, one last question. Is Buffy the Vampire Slayer worth watching like today? Or do we just remember it as being great?
I never got into like I love the movie, but I've never seen the show. I've only seen like bits and pieces.
Okay.
I think people still love that show. Like they still hold up.
Maybe we can watch and discuss then. If you've never seen it, like, but then I loved it, but I watched it growing up, so I might be misremembering its quality.
Yeah, I hear it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I just know Josh Whedon has his up and down. Like he's got this whole controversy about like the set being a bit of a bad set.
Mm-hmm.
Everything working on Justice League, and I really don't know where to stand on any of that stuff because it's that's rough territory to start taking sides with stuff you don't know, you don't have the information on.
Hmm.
You just have to kind of make judgment calls. But like, yeah, I love Josh Whedon's work.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how he is as a person right now.
Oh yeah, me neither. I mean, I kind of like separating the art from the artist for me is like it's a separate call every time. I want to know who the person is, like how much I like their stuff, and how bad the thing is that they did. It's always like
Yeah,
a case by case basis for me.
yeah. It's tricky sometimes. I know, like, what is it? The director of the people like the Jeepers Creepers movies,
Oh my
because
god, yeah. Oh, that's horrendous though. Yeah.
yeah, and some people were like, I really don't know. Like I do like those Jeepers Creepers, well, the first two,
Hmm.
but like, and I grew up watching Clown House, which is the movie that was like, obviously I can't watch that one anymore. Just I can't, just knowing what had happened. But like, he admitted to it. He did his jail time, and it's one of those things. Like, how do you look at it that way?
Yeah.
Like, justice served, or is it just like a thing that people can't be redeemed? And it's so rough. I really don't know what to say about any of it.
Hmm.
You said you're right. It's like a personal. You have to take it personal,
Yeah,
on a
absolutely.
personal level.
Yeah. I don't think it's I think in rare instances can you like tell somebody else what they
Yeah.
can and can't continue to engage with.
Going back to
Um,
Madeline, I think she had a discussion about it, the whole cancel culture thing.
oh, did she?
Yeah, and just immediately in my head, I was like, if what Robert Downey Jr. went through back in the '90s and early 2000s, if that had happened today, I wonder if people would react the same way. Because everybody loves Robert Downey Jr., but a lot of people forgot about the whole his problems with drugs and alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
and having to go to rehab and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
having difficulties on sets, and it's like, at a certain point, like, people can, if they want it, they can be redeemed, but everybody plays the judge, I guess, ideally.
Yeah. I think from what I know of him, like he had a terrible childhood and um
Yeah,
was like a wild teenager and stuff. So I don't know. Some people just have a tougher time of it as well. I don't know. You can't.
it's just culture in general. Like, we have a short term memory on things. There's just always new information coming in and filling the gaps and kind of washing away the old stuff.
Yeah.
Because what was it, like, people found out that Eddie Murphy had like a single back in the '80s, and I was like, yeah, of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
But this generation is like, fucking what? Eddie Murphy had a song out, an album, a song. And I was like, yeah,
It's a great song.
yeah, it's a great song.
It's worth if they didn't know it. I mean, it's worth listening to now.
Oh yeah, I'm glad, like, people. It was that the I know it was going around. I think we were all enjoying it. The guy longboarding,
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
Fleetwood
yeah.
Mac.
Fleetwood Mac.
Like,
Yeah.
uh, one of the offshoots of that, like, reaction was a bunch of people finding out about Fleetwood Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I was kind of like, man, I'm getting old, because there's a huge chunk of the population that has not heard of Fleetwood Mac, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
wow. And it's like, it wouldn't even mind. Like, I was born after Fleetwood Mac got famous. It's not even like my generational thing, but it's so funny how people find information like that. It's
Yeah.
just so much info.
Yeah, there's so much info, so much stuff. We've been watching Ratchet on Netflix, the new series with
What is that?
Sarah Paulson is in it.
Yeah, is it any good?
It's we think it's great. Yeah, I think it's great. It's great fun. Like it's well done. It's the same team who've done American Horror Story. If you like that.
Okay.
Um,
Because yeah, I was curious about it, because I think it was like an interesting concept to follow that character.
were you a fan of the original character or film or something? I didn't even. I think I
Yeah,
quit watching
One
it.
Floater's Cuckoo's Nest. I've seen it a few times, but it's one of those. Yeah, you would never think, like, oh, they're going to give Nurse Ratched. It would be interesting to see, like, her backstory.
It's pretty random. Yeah.
It is. I think there's like a trend of going back and revisiting, like, villains and stuff and seeing where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Hannibal and like Bates Motel and stuff kind of started this.
Are they any good?
Hannibal's fucking fantastic.
I've heard
I just
that. Yeah.
recently got it because I missed it when it was out, and I kept hearing, like, oh, it's good, you need to watch it. And then Netflix got it, and I binge watched the shit out of it. It was so fucking fantastic.
It's got
Just the score and everything. Oh, it's so good.
Mads Mikkelsen is in it, right?
Yeah, and they do like this weird thing where they end up like covering the books, but it's like their interpretation of them.
Okay.
So they end up covering most of the books. And I think that's why people want like another season so they can do because they don't do Silence of the Lambs,
Mm-hmm.
but like they keep hinting like all the backstory and stuff leading up to it, like you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
But like that show, even if they never did anything else, like the ending and everything is just it's so good. I cannot stress enough. If you haven't, it's just watch that.
Awesome. Yeah,
It's
I'll add that to
graphic
the
as
list.
fuck though. I was shocked. I was like, this was on NBC. This
Uh-huh.
show. This is amazing that they let this air.
That's really cool. Well, like anything Mads Mikkelsen does is huge here in Scandinavia. Everyone, oh yes, oh Mads Mikkelsen, yes,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I forgot. Like over there because
He's Danish.
yeah, another friend was he's he was like our pick for he's like our fan pick to play Geralt the Witcher. That would have been fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Didn't happen. But yeah, I love that dude. I kind of hope he plays. I hope they do that thing where they don't care about casting somebody else in the second part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would love him to come in the Marvel universe and play Doctor Doom.
Ah.
That would just be a dream come true. Like he's perfect. Just cast him as Doctor Doom.
Do you have Disney Plus?
I'm gonna get it back next month. I kind of go on and off of it because I end up watching because I got to finish Clone Wars, that last season of Clone Wars too.
Right. Because
yeah, I'm gonna get it back for the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah. Because I thought they were going to give you a free month or something. I just managed to download it on my TV. But they won't show me what's on it. So I was wondering if it was worth it. But
it's like if you, especially their selection of like classic Disney movies and stuff that they have.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's weird is they do that thing where they rotate stuff in and out.
Oh yeah.
It's just put it all on there. But there's a couple of things like I was watching like when I was those old Kurt Russell movies where he was like the computer wore tennis shoes and
Tron? Was it no?
Oh yeah, that I think they got all the Trons.
Okay.
That Tron series they have too.
There's a Tron series. Okay.
Yes, I watched. For some reason, I don't think the pilot. You have to watch the pilot unless they fixed it. I think the pilot's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
On the Disney Tron channel. But after that, like all the series is on the show, and it takes place between Tron and Tron Legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Except they didn't finish it because it was too good, and there aren't enough nerds to watch a Tron animated series. I guess it's always the way, but man, it's really good too. I think it's got Elijah Wood.
Okay,
is the main character.
Oh, cool! Because like he's one of those guys who only does stuff that he wants to do artistically because he's obviously very rich.
Yeah,
so it's worth following.
I love those people. Keanu Reeves is that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were smart, and they just kind of like, oh, we've made all the money that we need to live off of for the rest of our lives. Like, I'll just give it away and start spending on projects. And so you know what when they're in something, yeah, it's exactly like you said. Like when they're in it, you know that they're committed to it, and they're not just doing it as like a.
Do you like anything? Anything Robert Pattinson does as well? Because I think he's like. It's like he's going to spend the rest of his life trying to destroy his like Twilight legacy.
Yeah, I like even I was like on that thing for a while, but I was kind of like it's such pop culture and just looking at it. But like I remember the thing that finally relaxed me on that was watching snippets of the commentary
that
him and Kristen Stewart did, and they're just bashing the shit out of that. They're just talking about, it was a paycheck. What are you going to do? Oh, look, here's where the director made me blink a bunch of times. I was like, fuck.
I bet there's highlights of those on YouTube. I'm going to look those up.
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely, I'm sure you just look up commentary. They're just sitting there giggling and laughing and just talking about, man, this is some of the stupidest shit we've done. But
I know. What? And
it's pretty good. And then, obviously he's coming to his own. I can't wait to see him as the Batman.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm glad he got better because he got COVID, and I was like, "Fuck."
Oh, he's okay now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think they're already back to filming and stuff already.
Nice. Yeah, great. Well, you've given me loads of shows to watch, which I appreciate. It's always good to get some recommendations. I'm always like struggling to find good stuff to watch. And yeah, thanks again for the chat. We'll keep in touch and try and I'll have you on the show as much free time as you've got. It's always great talking to you.
I love you, man.
Yeah, love you too. Great. Have a lovely Sunday.
You too, man.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.
So that was Bo. Our Biggest Fears is out now. Hope you'll check it out. It's a great read. Always lovely to talk to him. If you would like to be on the show, or you want to tell me something about it, you can always do so using losingtheplotpodcast-at-gmail-dot-com, and I look forward to hearing from you. But that's all from me for this episode, so until next time, bye bye.